on today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
Here's some content, free content for you guys.
Yes.
I'll even pay for the space. Spend a little bit of money.
Yes.
Because you're building a relationship. You're not just asking for a handout.
Oh.
Do we know the answer? I just wanted to eat the cake. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Well, it's a lot of good different points of view.
Absolutely. I just find it funny. I'm not used to the producer talking so much.
Dang.
Hey.
Dang.
Hey, everybody. So, it's The Real DJ Show. I'm kind of alone right now. Any friends, Mickey?
It's The Real DJ Show! DJs!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Rich Cranston here with you for The Real DJ Show, and I love being back. Welcome back.
Thanks. I feel like Garth to your Wayne when you're about to do that. That's a reference that not everyone's going to get. But with me as always is Garth.
With me as always is John Roach. So we always love, sharing and just collaborating with other DJs from all around the world, quite frankly.
Yeah,
and
that's what this show's
just
about.
best practices,
But
right?
First, say hi to Mickey in the booth. What's up, Mickey?
Hello, sir.
We don't have a Ben, we have a Mickey,
We'll get
but
to
our
Ben here in
guest
a
has
second.
a Ben,
Yeah,
by the
all
way.
right. So we want to launch every one of our episodes with what we call the one thing, which is an opportunity for us to highlight a DJ who's out there killing it in their market, earning a living, being a leader in their community in our industry. And we're excited to have that. But we're going to learn their one thing. But Mickey, give me the one thing intro.
Let's go.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest.
All right. We're very excited to have with us for the one thing today. We've got Sheldon from Infinite Event Services. What's up, Sheldon?
Hey, not much. Thank you guys for having me here today. I'm very pleased to be here.
Nice to meet you. And Sheldon has a Ben.
All right. So somewhere Sheldon's got a Ben backstage, which is making their magic happen. If you guys have seen this and watched some episodes of our show, you're going to know right away that Sheldon and Ben have got the best damn digital backdrop we've seen out of anybody. Well, there it comes. Ben's not messing around.
Whoa.
That's pretty sweet.
So one of our pivots through this wonderful time of COVID has been to add a virtual studio. So I'm sitting in the virtual studio upstairs, which looks bigger than it is. It's only about a 13 by 12 foot area. And it gives us the ability to stream events all over the world. We've done comedy shows and conferences, just about anything you could imagine here.
It's amazing, man.
looks
You
really
guys
sick.
have killed it.
And a
Absolutely.
lot of detail, looks very professional. Well done.
Sheldon, I think that maybe I can tell when a DJ gets it, and like you guys obviously have, that it's funny that we've learned some things during COVID that I think we're all going to carry with us kind of post-COVID world. And
Definitely.
I'm assuming you're finding great ways to use this digital space even once you can get back in front of people.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that we never thought, like we're a full event company now. I started out as a DJ a long time ago. I started when I was 14 years old, helping another person, and my parents were dead set against me ever getting into this industry. And through the years, I've turned it into what now is a full-time profession, and I've got a staff and studio and warehouse, and we're a full event rental company. But one of the things we did was late into the game here through COVID was we built a virtual studio, started in September, and it's quickly taken over. We've done 3 events here this morning already, starting at 6 a.m. So
That's great.
It's been a busy, jam-packed day, and I think it's here to stay. I think virtual and hybrid is really the future of our industry.
Congratulations. Can I put some numbers on it? How long have you been in this?
So I started when I was 14. I am 48 now. I have to think about that. I've been doing it a long time. I started out back in the day with vinyl, and transitioned through everything until the age where we are now. And for a lot of time, I was part-time. So I started out, I was DJing, helping the other gentleman that hired me, but then started DJing weddings on my own, really from the time I was 16 years old, doing full weddings and corporate events from that time on. And through those years, I had always had what everybody calls a full-time job, a real job, as my parents called it. And in the middle of a reorganization, things happened, and I was sort of exited from the organization with a buyout package. And through that time, my parents kept trying to get me to get a real job again.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to a job interview actually, and by the time I was done the interview, the guy offered me 4 different positions. He started at the lowest one, ended up giving me an offer to be the senior director, basically managing a conference center for their audiovisual. And I walked out of the interview, and I had actually Ben, who's running my studio today, was just a wee little kid at home of a couple of years old. And I walked out of there, and my wife was obviously not working. We had things like that. So I called her up after the interview and I said, Andrea, I'm done. I'm going to work for myself now. And she said, oh my God, you didn't get the job. I said, no, actually I got the job. He gave me 4 offers, but it's time for me to do my own thing. And it's amazing when you've got somebody that stands beside you when you're ready to make such a crazy leap to start your own business.
Amen.
Full time, not just this part-time gig slinging record crates all around. This was going to be full time. This was our way to pay for the food for our family. And she supported me, and we've built what that started out to be as just a DJ company into a full event rental company. So we do everything from large tents, tables, chairs, audio-visual production.
Oh, no kidding.
We do outdoor stages for concerts and events. We've got the Stage Line Series stages. We've got a few of those, line arrays, and just about anything you could imagine. But I still DJ. I still love going out and creating moments, because for me, that's what it's all about.
I love it. That's a great story.
Yeah.
And kudos to you for the longevity and just making that leap.
Well, a couple of things he said I think really stood out to me. I remember personally the conversation. Look, I work for Rich, and I remember the conversation I had with my wife when I explained to her that I wanted to leave my cushy corporate job in human resources to go run some guy's DJ company. That conversation I remember like it was yesterday, so I'm with you on that. I do think it's funny. We've had a lot of these interviews the last couple of weeks, and everybody has some version of their parents wanted them to do a real job.
A real job.
We just talked to Joe Bunn before you this afternoon, and he's the same way. I know his story pretty well, and like he was telling us, his parents kept trying to get him a real job. So I guess we're all in it together that our parents wanted us to have real jobs, but our wives told us it was okay to.
And it's about
grow
following
up.
a passion, which you obviously have harnessed. And, cheers to your wife, Andrea, too.
Yeah. All right. So, Sheldon, we've got you here for a segment called The One Thing. We do a hand gesture for that. So we'd love to know from you, man, what is the one thing? What is the secret sauce for Infinite Event Services that makes you guys stand out? What's the secret sauce?
Well, our secret sauce really actually started when we changed from being just a DJ company. And I hate saying just a DJ company because DJing is the heart of where I started and it's really the base of the business. But when we started evolving and becoming an event company, we became the single source solution for our customers. People, they come to us and they love the fact that they can come to us for so many different things. But really, it all boils down to the service level. I personally meet with 99% of the customers that come in the front door. I still answer the phone for every call. I still respond to every email, hundreds of emails every day in some cases. But it's all about that level of service. I truly believe that, like I look at Randy Bartlett and the 1% solution.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life. And there's a gentleman who wrote a book, Jeff Olson, basically called The Slight Edge. And it's sort of a similar thing to what Randy Bartlett's brought to the industry. And I've believed in that. And I've always tried to do more than my competitors. So where my competitors stop answering the phone, I'll still answer it. I answer my phone at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's about serving the customer.
That freaks people out, right?
It does.
That when you answer the phone at 2 a.m., that freaks people out.
I was
love that.
expecting to get your voicemail.
All the time. And
great.
it's funny because we've proven to customers that's a value to them too, especially on the event rental side, definitely. But even I remember the story of one bride. She came to me and she was having a lot of trouble with her future mother-in-law because she wanted their wedding song to be a certain song, but it was used in a funeral for somebody on the groom's mother's side family. So she was torn up about this, and it went back and forth. I can't even tell you how many times. And she called me at like 2 a.m. the night before the wedding, and she was still distraught. And I said to her, "It's okay. I've got you. Just put your trust in me. I'll make your day the way it needs to be." Because again, it's about service. And the day came and I played her original song, the one she really, really wanted. And the future mother, or the mother-in-law at that time, I guess, came over to me absolutely furious, completely upset that I would disobey the rule. And, I said to her, I said, I am so sorry. I said, this song has changed 50 times over the past 2 weeks. There's been so much stress going on. I totally made a mistake, but I can't stop. This is your son's day. This is your new daughter's day. We have to embrace this moment for what it is now.
Wow.
And she went away mad. The daughter came to me later and gave me the most giant hug and thank you that you could ever imagine.
Sure.
And of course, the mom also said she wasn't going to pay me, which was a big part of the evening. But the daughter came through, the daughter-in-law, my customer, truly came through and made sure that everything was taken care of. But so many other DJs get caught up in the moment of trying to fix things and get involved. But this is one of those times that we have to do what's right for our customer, because sometimes they don't know the right answer. So it's putting them first and doing the service that makes a difference.
I love listening to you speak, man. I wish, this was a lot longer. It would be really cool listening to you.
Well, hey, man, next time when the world isn't upside down, if we see you at Mobile Beat or something, we'll get a beer in Vegas, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always there, and I'd love to meet you guys.
I feel like I've heard you speak before. Did you ever present at Mobile Beat? I feel like I've heard your voice before.
I have not presented, and it's interesting because I've been heavily involved in the DJ industry for years. I've been part of a couple of different DJ associations in Canada. There's the Canadian Disc Jockey Association. I used to be involved when they started here in Western Canada. I've been involved in the Alberta Association of Mobile Entertainers and the Canadian Event Professionals. So a lot of people have seen or heard on different podcasts and things like that as well.
Gotta be that. I'm going to tell the new owners of Mobile Bee if we get a chance that they should find you, because I'd want to hear more.
For sure.
Well, I thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on your success. And Ben, thank you.
Yeah, Ben,
everything looks crisp and sharp. And I know you're very, very busy, so I appreciate your time. And
thank you guys for what you do for our industry. A lot of people don't understand that you're taking a lot of time out of your day and you're giving us something that we all value. So from us to you, thank you very much.
Thanks, brother. Man. Appreciate that.
Hey, that was the one thing with Sheldon at Infinite Event Services. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
I like Sheldon.
Yeah, dude, his setup was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. A cool cat. Sitting there on the old high top with the jacket, looking good, Sheldon.
He was looking good.
And tech wise, that was really solid.
Yep. All right. We're excited to talk about our core topic today, which is about a home field advantage, or doing presentations and setting up an environment to be successful when you're doing presentations. And to help us with that, we're super excited to invite our friends. Frankly, they're our landlords, so that's convenient as well. We have Zach from Arbor Venues and Leah from Folk Catering. What's up, you guys?
Hi.
How we doing, guys?
Great to see you both.
Thanks for having us. We
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
yeah.
Our topic today, we're talking about what we call home field. So when Rich and I get out there to speak to wedding vendors, it's a big theme for us.
Oh, absolutely, because it was all about transferring the emotion from wherever the people have just come from into where they're going to be.
When we first got started kind of informally doing consulting, it was just for friends in the area that own different wedding businesses. And I remember actually 2 different occasions where we had friends that owned a venue that called us over and said, hey, could you give us some tips, what you think about how we're doing sales? Because there's people that are crushing us.
Right.
And I don't know why we're getting crushed. And both of these places, I said, okay, well, walk me through, if I was a client, what that experience is like. And both of them took me on a nice tour of really attractive venues.
It was beautiful.
And that's okay. Well, take me then where you do your sales pitch or where the interaction happens. Both times they took us into the dingiest, crappiest little offices. It's okay. This is where we sit down to talk business. And I'm like, this is where the broom should go.
Right.
Right. This is not where she's talking about that. So I want to talk to both of you guys about your businesses, because I know both of you have got it nailed. So how do you guys use emotion to get clients from a catering standpoint or from a venue standpoint? Like, how do you guys use emotion to use in your sales technique? Because I know these 2 venues, we're not using that. They have this beautiful venue and they're meeting in a Coke closet.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I can sort of walk you through sort of our sales process and kind of the rationale behind it.
Yeah.
But basically what we'll do is we invite the client into the space. We will sit down with them in the space. So we always set up a table. We make sure we have water, champagne. We have all of our materials there. And the first thing we do is just talk to them about their event, right? So we want to get an idea of where their head is. We don't need to show them everything because maybe not everything applies to them. So what we do is try to get a good idea of what they're thinking, what their ideal event would be, and then we show them that event. We walk them through what a ceremony would look like. We walk them through how the dining room would be set up. We walk them through, where the bride and groom would enter for their first dance. And we try to put them in the position of, kind of like, here's where you will be at this, at this moment.
Using those
wedding.
words, right?
Yeah.
I mean, immersion seems really important to me. Like, you want them picturing themselves having their event in that space.
Exactly. And pictures only do so much to convey that because you're picturing somebody else's big day. You want to imagine what it's going to be like for you. And so we try to recreate that experience the best we can. So we'll have a ceremony set up when they come in for a tour. We'll have tables set up. We don't do a full wedding setup, but 9 times out of 10, we have enough to give them an idea of here's what it's going to feel like.
I love how it's the individual attention because, if I'm the couple right now, we're going to be spending a lot of money with you and a lot of time. So I want you to massage me when it comes to that, right?
Exactly.
What are you going to be doing for me?
That's
I love that.
Metaphoric massage.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, also, once you're walking through too, you will be able to ascertain what people's concerns are. Like, okay, well, this pole right here, I don't like how, if I'm standing here, I might be backlit against the windows.
Right.
And so you can sort of address those concerns, and everybody has their own concerns.
Exactly.
So you have to personalize it and say, hey, you know what? You don't like that, we can do this a different way. Like, it's your day. We can set this, like, it's not a program that we're trying to fit you into.
Right. Or
it's kind
I
of
was here for my sister's wedding, and I didn't like how the cake was over there. Is that a thing? Do you usually? No.
No, we can do whatever you want. So it's a
that's
very
real good.
personalized experience. And, our planners, everybody on our team, they love this. They're about that life. So, it's like, it's very easy for them to sort of get into their head and try to figure out what it is that they want, and then just show them. Say, hey, here's what that would look like here, and so it's been great. Now, we do something very similar with catering.
Well, yeah, so I want to ask, actually, Leah, this question. So sometimes when we're talking with wedding professionals, that maybe they don't have a permanent space of their own, right? So somebody that, like a caterer that they're working out of their home kitchen, or it's mobile, right? They don't have a permanent space, or they're, I don't know, a photographer that doesn't have a studio, so they're meeting somebody in unique spaces. Like, how do you create emotion? I know you guys have done some things kind of outside of your own space.
Sure.
Like, how do you create emotion for somebody like catering when you may not have a permanent space to build your home field advantage?
Wedding planning is hard because, you have to do this whole thing from top to bottom. You're building this huge thing, and for the most part, it's the biggest event anyone has ever planned in their life.
Yeah.
And we want to make the whole thing an event. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make picking a venue an event. We're going to give you champagne when you walk in the door because this is special. This is important. This is a cool part of your life. And we want to do the same thing with catering. And it's a little bit easier with catering because I can just be like, here's some cheese. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, for folk, specifically, we're really lucky in that our home base is an absolutely beautiful restaurant in downtown Rochester. So, this past Monday, we were really lucky to be able to reopen, sort of for the first time since everything with COVID. We were able to bring in 15 couples and serve them a beautiful meal and say, this is what the food for your wedding is going to taste like, but also this is how we're going to take care of you. It's like hospitality top down. We walked them through the kitchen. We said, this is the home of your caterer. This is where your food is coming from. These are the people who are cooking it. You're part of our family now.
That's great.
And I think that whole, this is our family and you are now part of it. You help me pay my bills, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And you chose me, and you didn't have to. And so I think even if you don't have a specific location, if you're meeting your client in a coffee shop or, in a bar or a bookstore or wherever it may be, just saying to them, you are my family, and, that is the location.
You say that pretty matter of factly. Like, you say, hey, as a catering company, yeah, of course, we threw an event, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's so obvious to everyone in your space that, to be creative enough to throw an event. If you can't reach them the way you want, you create something creative to show off the experience. I mean, there's a lot of catering companies in our area, in our market, that aren't doing anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They're just word of mouth or a really good advertisement or something. But we've always encouraged people, right, to like do something, like throw an event, have a networking thing, like create some buzz. And I think you said that pretty matter of factly, but I mean that's not so obvious.
It's just what you do as a business.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
what you want to offer people.
Weddings are expensive, like you said, and I never ever want one of my clients walking into their wedding day or looking at their final invoice and being like, I have no idea what I'm giving you money for, because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's, you have to give people value.
And I hate seeing on these social media groups where couples are just left out there in the middle of a storm asking questions, crowdsourcing, when their vendors should be taking care of them. That pisses me off to no end, right? Because, and you said it earlier, these couples are giving you their hard-earned money. You need to give them 1,000% of what they're going to be getting.
Mm-hmm. I tell my couples all the time, never, ever, ever hesitate to reach out to me with a question, because you're planning a wedding in a pandemic that's stressful enough. I don't want you like sitting home wondering, or, I don't know, we'll just wait for our next meeting. No, send me an email. I think too, from our, a vendor standpoint of things, my job is so much easier when I get to know my couples. Yes. And sitting down over some drinks or feeding them some delicious food and being like, hey, okay, you didn't like that, but you loved that. It just makes it so much easier for me than to sit there and be like, okay, so what do you guys think? Like, getting to know people makes my job easier. So it's...
No, and when you're eating and drinking with people, you sort of kind of there's this natural human thing where you sort of become friends with them too, right? Like, when we're talking about, friends, we're like, let's get dinner together, because it's a very personal human experience. And so a lot of times people will come in and they have this guard up and they're trying to, be tough and not show their cards. And it's like all of a sudden you start having some drinks. You start, you have a little bit of food, and, it completely disarms them. And now we can discuss things as, just human beings. So
I want to talk with you guys, because you guys are really good at including vendors in the things you do. Because you guys have done tastings at your venues that we've been part of, and you've had other vendors included in those things. So when we talk to vendors sometimes that don't know how to maximize space, or don't have a space, they're young in their careers, they don't have a permanent space yet. How can vendors, in your minds, figure out creative ways of places to meet their clients when they don't have their own space? I mean, look, for us, our business, we're your neighbors and your tenant, frankly. But it's been a game changer for us that, hey, we've positioned ourselves near people that can affect our business. Right. And when you guys have networking events and things where you include other vendors and they're meeting clients in that way, I know there's benefit for the wedding professionals that are involved in that. How is the benefit for you guys to include, other wedding professionals in the things that you guys do?
Well, I think it sort of creates an ecosystem of here are sort of the cool kids, here are the good vendors, and here is sort of the vibe that you're going to sort of get. It's sort of there's only one wedding, right? So you have all these vendors, but it's only one experience, right? We want all these things to sort of be cohesive. And one of the ways that we can sort of show people that it will be cohesive is by including vendors in on some of these open houses and some of these tasting events that we do. It's showing that these things play nicely together, right? All the vendors have to sort of get along and sort of play well together and fit well together. And it can't you can't have one DJ that has a totally different style than the rest of the wedding. You know what I mean? All the stuff has to sort of come together. And one of the ways that we can do that is by bringing them all together, you know what I mean? And showing that these are the people that we work well with. And so...
Because we don't know what you have. We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
We don't know what you have unless we experience that, right? And I know it doesn't happen a lot, but people do ask DJ entertainment companies, who would you recommend? But, it's nice knowing what you guys have to offer and what you can do, right?
Well, and I think, too, when we talk to wedding professionals that don't have a space, right? And their alternative, it's either, hey, we do everything by phone or Zoom, or it's, hey, we're going to meet in a Starbucks, right? We've tried to encourage people to say, hey, go build relationships. Instead of buying that mailing list or buying that advertising online platform that charges you however much a month, take that money and go make friends.
Yeah.
Go
get out of the car.
Like, look,
knock on some doors.
we have a great space to meet clients, and we're lucky that it's down the hall from one of our favorite venues. But I tell you what, sometimes when we've double booked an appointment and I don't have a space because you're meeting with somebody here and I got to figure out what to do, I'm going to go sit in their chairs outside their venue. Because,
That's such a good point. Yeah.
you know, look, we've made friends. You're not going to kick me out. And look, I've now positioned myself that, yeah, hey, I'm associated with, or at least have some blessing. They're backing up the fact that, yeah, these are, you know, a good vendor just because of the proximity I'm meeting with them there. I would encourage, like, a photographer or DJ. You don't have your own space. Go make friends with a venue.
You know what? Even better, you know, if I was a photographer or DJ, let's say photographer, I would book a styled shoot at the best venue, the one that most matches my aesthetic.
Amen.
And I would say, hey, here's some content, free content for you guys.
Yes.
I'll even pay for the space. Spend a little bit of money.
Yes.
Because you're building a relationship. You're not just asking for a handout. You're showing what you're capable of. You're showing an interest in somebody else's business. And people will respond to that.
Right.
Right? And, you know, we get people all the time. I don't want to say all the time. And we'll help people when we can. But people are like, hey, can I just use your space? And, you know, like, and it's like, well, yeah, what do we get out of it? You know, like you know, like, are you just trying to grift off, you know, our success, or do you want to build a partnership? And we would much rather like build something with somebody else. And that's how all our vendors sort of got to be where they are, is by sort of giving a little bit, you know, up front. Like, you guys have done some free events for us. You know, we've had photographers that are like, look, we have some awesome pictures of your space. Love to put them on your website. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you build relationships.
It's got to be equitable.
Yeah.
Yes.
You both have to have something on
have
the
to find
table. I mean,
value.
yeah, absolutely.
So figure out how to give value to somebody. That
But cheers to you for having that open-mindedness, because there's a lot of people, not just so much venues, but a lot of people that don't see that. You know,
totally.
They don't see that at all. It's like, you know, what do I get for it, like, right now? No, it's not always about that. It's about planting seeds.
And I'm not asking people, because there is this sort of thing out there, especially like in the creative world, where it's like you do all these things just to get your name out there, right? And that's not what I'm asking. What I'm saying is build a relationship with somebody that can help you in a business sense. Have the relationship be equitable, not just like do things, you know, to get your name out there. That's not what I'm saying. But
we're bringing Zach along next time we do consulting, because he's like commercial. It's really good. Like I promise I didn't prep that.
No.
There are small things that you can do. If you're working in a venue and you really love the venue and you've been hired by the couple that's there today, take 5 minutes and talk to the coordinator and say, hey, this is my card. I'm going to send you these pictures at the end of this wedding. I'd love to work together in the future. We've met so many amazing vendors that way. Bakeries, photographers, DJs, like all of these really cool people who just were already in the space because they're being paid to be there, and they were just smart enough to seek out the coordinator and to say, hey, here's some pictures.
Better yet, ask,
here's a cupcake.
Hey, what can I do for you?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
like,
that.
Yeah,
How
imagine
can I
that.
how can I make your day easier today?
So when we were facing not being able to have live people, right? Business could not stop. You guys did not stop business. We could not stop business. So we had to figure out ways to engage with our clients when we couldn't be physically with them. How did you guys handle that? How was like the virtual meeting when you can't be in your pretty space or can't be handing them cheese because the government says you can't give them cheese? How do you stay like engaged with somebody? How did you guys do that kind of virtually?
Well, the funny thing is that anybody that's looking to still book a wedding during quarantine is highly motivated. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if you're like, hey, I want a tour and, you know, the entire country shut down, well, we can tell that's somebody that really is looking to be serious about planning something. So, you know, we're getting our, you know, girls in there, FaceTime, walkthrough. We do the same exact process that we would do in person, you know, just kind of minus some of the niceties. We would do that sort of FaceTime, Zoom, showing them, hey, here's what the ceremony would look like. Let's walk through it all. You know what I mean? And so that's how we got through it. And we did very well. I was shocked, honestly, at how many people responded well to that.
Yes.
I don't think it's something that I would always much rather have somebody in person.
Yeah, right.
But when that's not possible, you know, just saying.
We were floored as well.
We struggle with that too.
We were floored.
We challenged some core beliefs we had about how to meet with somebody, right? I mean, I don't know. We track conversions, right? So how many leads I get versus appointments that I take versus sales that we make, right? It's all those percentages. Like, how is that for you virtually versus when they're in person? Was it a noticeable difference?
It's interesting because I think the conversion rate's actually higher because, like I said, people are much more motivated. but your lead count is considerably lower, right? Which is fine. I mean, we're just being efficient then with the amount of time that we're spending with clients. We get to really follow up with them. If we have to do more than one tour, like, oh, we got to bring their parents through and do the same exact thing, we'll do that again. So it actually worked out that I think the conversion rate was higher than it normally
and you
otherwise would be.
removed a lot of obstacles for them to get to your space, right? I mean, weather, late to work, dog urinated on the carpet. Let's do it another day.
And that's the thing too. Is like we don't have business hours. Our girls were like, okay, well, 9 o'clock at night, that's when you get out of work. Like, I'll see you there. You know what I mean? Or we got to do something before you go in. Like, all right, let's do it. So we don't have business hours. We are 100% like, when is the earliest that you can come in? When's the next available time? We'll be there. So
Guys, we also talk about that too, matching your client hours.
Yeah,
right?
we have to do that.
Gosh.
It's funny. We faced that, and we're still kind of sorting through the data on this, but we always had the long-standing belief that in person, no matter what, is always better than a call. So,
right.
I mean, this is the first year we've really used, Zoom or a platform like that to its full advantage. But we've always, the emotion of they come and sit at our conference table amongst our pretty lights and our cool light up dance sign and stuff like that is always going to be better. And similarly, like we always through these events we call VIP, which are we throw a big party. So you mentioned the word immersion before. We want people immersed amongst the things that we do, frankly, with a cocktail in hand. So they're making buying decisions based on the excitement of being immersed in it. But what we're finding is our crazy little Zoom open houses versus these big like in-person events. Our conversion rates are insanely higher, like crazy higher.
Crazy.
Really?
And unbelievably. Now, I don't think we're ever going to take that away. I mean, because there's other intrinsic value of throwing an event that people come and see, and it's brand building.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think, because my takeaway from that was that, okay, the people that are just looking to get married right now, they're just highly motivated. Not this is like genuinely a better way that we're going to sort of like challenge our belief that in person is better. I think that was just kind of like what was happening at the time. And the people and so the people that were like still booking stuff and all that, they're just highly motivated people. It's just low hanging fruit that probably otherwise would have been there. You know what I mean? What is your take on that?
I don't know yet. I think the data is still out. That I don't know if we have a big enough sample size to know, okay, is what we've experienced in the last 12 months an outlier based on the sign of the times, and as people are more comfortable being in public, it's going to return to in-person is better.
I think the fact that it's convenient is a high factor.
Big factor.
In buying. Because the thing you're talking about, yes, people are motivated, but also you're making a huge investment in the middle of a global pandemic that we have never been in before, and I have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, I think it's an example of that the pandemic has made us challenge some things and learn some things that we're going to continue. Like, for us, these twice a month open houses that we used to do here, and we were fond of them and they were good, but when we put them on Zoom, now they blow up.
The attendance
it's insane. Attendance is higher.
Double, triple of what it was in
true.
person.
And our conversions off them are double what they were.
I'm sorry. So just to run up my point, the question you asked, Zach, was the matter of convenience. So to getting people into the space, because once they get into your space, they see how comfortable of an investment it is. But also it's removing all of the friction and obstacles to get there.
It's a commitment to get
weather,
up to go
late from
to
work,
do something,
anything.
Yeah,
the sitter, whatever. But it's we're having a meeting from your living room, and oh wow, this is so. I mean, attendance is just crazy, and it's a lot easier.
That is very interesting. I'm glad to hear that.
No, exactly right. I think that in the middle somewhere is the answer. Like for us, it's in our category. It's challenging to see the product. You know what I mean? Like they can have a great conversation at my conference table with some dude like me, and I liked him, but I still haven't. I mean, I didn't bring 40 people in here and watch me make them dance, right? Like I can't hand them cheese.
Because their buying is based on relationship and the rapport building they had with John.
So we found there's the technology that we've figured out in the last 13, 14 months is we're going to keep. I mean, it's not going to be, okay, COVID's over, great, cancel the Zoom meetings.
Right.
We're going to keep it. Now, I think that we'll never take away those live events because at the end of the day, our business is people having fun. We need people to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have learned some things that, like, hey, we're never going back to, not using this technology. You guys want to plug anything? Your Instagram or your website or
Folk Catering at Rochester Folk on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's a collaboration with the Swan family of restaurants. So Dorado, Swan Dive, Daily Refresher,
Give me
Brew,
100.
Oxenstone.
There's a whole bunch of
There's a whole bunch of them. So kind of Rochester's favorite restaurants. We've sort of collabed with that team to make what I think is going to be the best catering company in Rochester.
food is
So
so
Sweet.
good.
Right now, producer
wait.
Mickey is putting all that on the screen in a very dope fashion. Well, Zach and Leah, thank you guys again so much. That was an awesome segment and an important conversation about, home field advantage. All right, listen, you guys, focus up. We've got a brand new segment. We're really excited. I'm already laughing because it's so funny. We have a brand new segment. It's kind of a game show. We're going to introduce some clients of ours that just got married. We call this segment "How Involved Were You?" Mickey, give me that intro.
Hey, so as DJs, we rarely get to see our clients much after the reception happens, but we're trying out a little we're beta testing right now for this. So this is a little fun segment called How Involved Were You? Bringing back some super fun clients. I literally haven't seen you guys since September 14th, your wedding. Welcome back. You guys look great. How's everything going? Heather, Lindsay, what's going on?
Well, COVID, everyone's been pretty affected by it. We're very lucky that we were able to have our wedding, so thankful for that.
All right, so I have some questions. So here are the rules. I'm going to read off some questions, and I'd like if you envision like the newlywed game.
Mm-hmm.
So you write down the answer, and just to see who was right, and we'll see how many. Mickey's going to do post production. We're going to tally what those answers were, and we'll see how fun we did. Right?
We're not competitive, so this shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, great, very good. All right, well, no throwing too much elbows here. All right, so Lindsay and Heather. First off, what song did you use for your introductions? And I'll tell you when to hold those up here. Just like, Facetown. Okay. All right, look good.
Ready.
All right, very good. What song did you use for your introduction? And we wrote...
This is how we do it.
Did you write it
Montel
too?
Jordan.
Because I
Yeah.
can see...
Yep.
All right, very
Yeah.
good. Very
Yep.
good. Correct. The
Yep.
answer was, this is how we do it.
I could hear it in my head before I could get the words out.
This is how we do. So a very cool venue that you were at, and it was really cool to perform at, the ambiance. What was the name of the coordinator at the Cracker Factory? What was the name of the coordinator at the Cracker Factory? All right, here we go. Answers up. Maggie. Oh, we got a couple here. Amy, Brandon, Maggie.
Amy and Brandon owned it, but Maggie kind of did.
I had Maggie.
everything.
She was super fun to work with. 2 for 2. My goodness. The score's here. Okay, here we go. All right, so what was the name of your photographer's assistant? No.
No, don't give her any hints.
We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, not helping.
I don't know it. I can picture her face.
Paris?
It was
Oh,
Paris.
it was Paris.
Yes, it was
How did I forget
Paris.
that?
It's all good. It's all right. All right, so we're keeping score.
Damn it.
Marking that down. All right, so number 4. What was your cake cutting song?
We had some solid
Love
music
that.
choices.
Love that. September 14, 2019. See how good the memory is.
I think
Number
I might have
4.
made something
What
up.
was your cake cutting song? What did we write?
Fresh Eyes? Andy Grammer?
Oh.
Do we know the answer?
I just wanted to eat the
I
cake.
have a-
How sweet it
Mickey,
is to
we have
be
a double
loved by
buzzer.
you.
We have it was Codaline.
What?
The one.
Oh,
Yeah. The one.
Yeah. That's a great song choice.
That's
fact that
okay.
Rich knew that we didn't.
It's good that the DJ remembered. So,
All right, well.
all right, that's all good. Okay, cancel that one out. So, during introductions, whose parents were introduced first? Lindsay's or Heather's?
Mine.
No.
Oh, we both left.
No.
They all came out to
We
bring
It was
sexy
Lindsay's.
back.
Yeah. We didn't know. We were at the bottom of the stairs.
Correct.
They came out to Justin Timberlake's Bringing Sexy Back, however.
We wouldn't tell them what song they were coming out to.
We thought that was totally appropriate. And they did.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, final question. There was one song on your do not playlist. One song on your do not playlist. What was it? The Macarena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. That's it.
I'm fine. We're good with like a little choreography, but like
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone was going to request it, but just in case.
no, we had to draw the line somewhere.
Well, that was good. Did you have some fun?
We did. Yeah, that was great.
All right. Okay, that was really
I
cool
have-
live segment with the Humberstones.
It was. I always love seeing those ladies. I have some news for you.
Oh, very good.
I am leaving.
Permanently?
share for the next episode.
Yeah, it is. Hey, so this has been kind of a wacky episode for us.
Yeah.
We're kind of mixing things up.
Yeah.
We did a cool little live segment there with our friends, the Humberstones.
Yep.
And we're going to mix it up even more.
You want couch or tech?
I'll do tech. You
I'll do couch.
But hey, we're going to mix it up.
What's up?
We're going to bring in Jordan and Mickey to do a BPM.
Bring 'em in.
So, Mickey, play the BPM video and then get your ass in the chair.
Come out of the green room. Security.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box.
How do I sit on this thing? I can't. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
I feel like I need like a fireplace and a TV dinner. All right, so that's gonna make the cut. I know it is. Special edition of BPM. We have Encore personalities, Michael Hamilton and Jordan Rakashevitz. It's the Germans in the polls. Here we go.
Hey, I'm in the booth. You didn't introduce me in the booth. What the hell?
Them's fighting words.
Hi, this is not Mickey, the producer, in the booth. But
Sorry,
I'm excited
Johnny.
this is what it looks like over here.
I'm out of sorts because my chest
Yeah.
is sore, and I don't know how to sit. My socks are showing, and I want to make sure that There we go. We're good to go. I'm
So
good
I'm
to go.
gonna,
on the
I'm gonna
couch.
spin the wheel,
boy.
and then
Yes.
Mickey's gonna go first. Rich, you got the
Oh, I'm
timer?
going first. All right, so Rich, you my timer? You
Yep.
got me?
All right, I'm grabbing the wheel. I have the wheel. Spinning the wheel. This is an agree or disagree.
Okay.
The more services a DJ company offers, the more their core product appears to be of lower quality.
Ooh, good question.
I want to say agree, based off the bridal show that we went to last month. He just did a lot of gimmicky stuff, and it didn't seem like, to me, when I look at someone and they have all the bells and whistles, you don't seem like you're trying to hide something. That's how it is to me, that you're trying to hide that you can't DJ, or you're DJing off of iTunes, which is not cute. Don't do that.
It's not cute.
It's not cute.
It's not cute.
It's not.
I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to say it in a little better way.
Oh!
Shots fired. I did not
Here's
know
the
we
thing.
were doing that.
You're right, but it goes much further than that. The more services that you offer, the more spread thin you are. In our company, we've got a very set amount of products that we offer. Yeah, we try to reinvent, we try to re-innovate, but we're never trying to tackle more than we can chew.
Right.
When we were at the bridal show, the one that you were talking about, the one
Yeah.
you were showcasing, I could tell that they were an entertainment company. I couldn't tell what their main product was.
No.
At all. They had about 50 different things going on. They were pissing off the venue. They were
Yes.
setting off sparklers. They were
Yeah.
setting off
Confetti cannons
poppers
sound like
and like
gunshots.
Yeah, every time someone turned around, it sounded like a gunshot was going off.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the middle of a casino. There was no core service that was being showcased. There was
Right.
no quality service being showcased. Every single piece of lighting equipment they had was all like flash, showy, gimmicky.
Yep.
I'm surprised people didn't walk away blinded.
Yeah. It felt like they felt like Walmart, and the rest of us felt like Target. Target.
Ooh, you guys are serving up a spicy tamale.
Can you keep that voice forever, please?
No. Just when I'm in Mickey's producer cam chair.
Oh my god.
That's
Richard,
fair.
what say you,
I
Richard?
was gonna say,
Yeah, I agree with Mickey. if you're going
This is
to
what you get for
offer
the last
ancillary
episode.
services, they have to be closely, in my opinion, they have to be closely related to your core, right? They have to touch it. So for us, uplighting, it affects the venue, right, of how it looks for entertainment value. Photo booth, it's an entertainment piece. Videography, well, we have live stream and we also do video. So, I mean, those things touch. If we started offering like cigar rolling or
like,
dessert stations.
How would that make any sense?
You know, Dippin' Dots. That's just, to me, it screams greed that you're trying to.
Chocolate fountains. Chocolate fountains.
And I think you should focus more on where your quality is, because that's where things start to sacrifice when you're outside your quality comfort zone.
Right.
But then my question is like, how far? Like, okay, all the services that you offer relate back to your core service. How far out do you go then? Like, where is the limit? As far, because you could do a number of different services, and we're still like exploring different options of services that will that somehow like relate back to our main core product of what we offer.
Can I answer
How
that?
far out do you go?
Can I answer that on the producer cam?
Johnny Cam?
For sure.
So you can do a bunch of things. You can't just like showcase all of them at the same level, right? I think where companies make the mistake of diluting their core product is when you try to stuff all those things into packages. Like, hey, yeah, it's a DJ package, and you get confetti poppers and balloon animals and a chocolate fountain and all this stuff, right? And they're advertising it as attached to their core product. Or if the focus of their marketing is trying to show how many different things they do, is the problem. Like, your core marketing needs to reflect your core product. And I think like these places that do limos and photography and whatever,
and like dance studios and
yeah, I mean, I think that the thing is, the line when you see it. It's like, can't tell you the technical reasons why one photographer looks better than another, but you know it when you see it. All right, Nick.
No, I'm nice.
Second
Here we
round.
go.
Not like you. I'm nice.
Using sound mode on a DMXable fixture is lazy. Agree or disagree?
I mean, that's the very nature of sound mode, is that you don't have to do anything. Now, granted, if you know your lights well enough and you're able to sit there and put together a program or use a sound switch, and you're able to actually dedicate the time to be able to putting that together, that is something that you could use to elevate your service, to differentiate, to stand out. But the very initial definition of sound mode is like, yeah, you put it in and it responds. It's by the wording that you're using there, absolutely, it's lazy.
I mean, yes, it's lazy, but who has time to sit here and program their music and then like program lighting? I feel like
Single
you're
ops.
spreading yourself too thin. What?
Yeah, single ops have the ones that have the time.
Single operatives.
Oh.
Got it. We have so much on our plate in general to worry about the lighting and actually fading in and fading out. I feel like sound mode, yeah, you can label it as lazy, but I label it as efficient.
I don't think it's lazy. So it's the best use of time and resources in our market for what we get paid. We can't charge. We would love to charge extra to have intelligent lighting, movers, but you got to program all that. And would it look better on the dance floor? Yes, for effects. I mean, high points of the song, and they start strobing. That would be awesome. But we cannot get paid for that because the buyers, they won't invest in that. So the option is to do a sound-activated light fixture. Comes down to time and resources. And so I don't think it's lazy. I think it's a good use of time and resources.
I also don't think people care that much either. They're like, ooh, lights. It's like...
I think they definitely care. Think of the concert, right?
Yeah.
They definitely care. I mean, look
They
at reactions
care.
at a concert.
They absolutely care. But here's the thing. Is it a matter of them not caring, or is it a matter of them not being
Exposed to
shown
it.
and educated
You know what? Yeah.
as to what impact it can have? Because look at especially what we've done in our marketing. We have made it a point, and John, I've seen him do this every presentation that he gives for someone that's looking to hire us. He's talked about the importance of the skills of our DJs, their transitions, and making them aware and making that a differentiating point. Who's to say
Mickey
that
does pay attention.
I do. I do. But who's to say that putting that same effort, if we wanted to up our lighting game and utilize programming, utilize things that allow us to make that easier, to maybe incorporate some sound responsive modes, but still have a programming element to it. Who's to say that not educating them would not make that switch as well. Maybe that's a differentiation point in a sales meeting that could be done.
I feel like if you know about it, then sure, if you worked at a club or you work at a concert venue, then you might care about the lighting. But if it's some drunk bridesmaid, they don't really care. Like,
right, but we're not trying to sell to the drunk bridesmaid.
Right.
We're trying to sell to the couple.
Drunk couple.
If you
Eventually.
still offer it, I mean, you could take cold sparklers, for instance, right? We offer it. We offer a lot of enhancements. We offer a slow motion video booth, right? Sparklers, intelligent lighting upgrades. How many people buy into that? A fraction. The overall, it's like, do I really need, really cool lights, or should I get the upgraded package in Mexico Riviera? Yep. I'll do that, or I'll just save the money. It's like,
I'll tell you when it's going to be a thing. And Mickey, look, I'm not picking sides here, but I think Mickey was the closest to the right answer. Is that we can figure out a price point that people will buy without question, that pays for our time to do a DMXable lighting show. And we can just sell it as a differentiation, not as an option or a choice, but to say, hey, one of the things that makes us different than our competitors is we take the time to use our lights the way they're supposed to be used. And we can just make it, at a price point, it's included, not a choice. Because Rich is right, no one's ever going to choose that. Hey, the blinking lights we bring, they can randomly blink or they can blink at the right times. Pick one. This one costs $300 more. No one's ever going to pick that.
Right.
But if you just say, it's like, hey, do you want to pick a DJ that just does iTunes and fades, or pick a DJ who does a really good mix? I do think it's a differentiation point now that people choose us over Facebook DJs, but it has to be presented that way. Like, hey, one of the many things that we do better than someone else is we program our lights better. But we have to be at a price point that we think is paying for that. But they're not something that they're going to choose. Does that make sense? I don't think we're there yet.
You're selling the overall experience, Johnny,
Right.
which is
Right.
the way it should be done.
And it all comes back to education. It starts at the very beginning with meetings that John has, letting them know this is what is included and this is why it's not just different, but better than your competitive option.
So this one is, I think, just a nice follow-up to that last question.
All right.
More important to a DJ lighting fixture, the fixture looks cool or the effect looks cool?
Yeah, back.
So like the physical build of the light versus what it can do?
Yeah, so like what the fixture looks like in your setup versus the lighting effect it makes on the dance floor, which is more important when you're picking a light fixture? That the fixture looks cool in your setup, or that the lighting effect that it splashes on the dance floor, it looks cool? Which one is more important?
Okay.
Well, I think the effect is better because, I mean, we did setup wars. The one that looked like a scrunchie, looked like a snake shedding its skin. I mean, I think what it does is better. Is technically better than how it looks because I don't care. Once the lights go dark,
question.
you're not going to see it, Oh, gosh. See, he's giving me that.
No,
like,
question.
I'm not.
No. You're absolutely right.
Mickey's a cheetah
Yeah.
But
waiting
here's
to
why.
pounce.
Here's why. Maybe this will help solidify it a little bit better. The reason why is because at what point is anyone going to see the actual physical look of the picture? It's going to be the DJ who is taking a picture of his setup to put it up on Facebook before the event even starts.
Okay,
All right.
I don't even
People
do that.
may see it like as they're coming into the ballroom, but
Right.
most receptions are taking place at a time where it's not exactly going to be all that bright in the ballroom.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of setup that you have, if you have an all black setup, you should. Then people are. It's going to be blending into the surroundings. People are not necessarily going to be noticing. However, once it's all dark, they're not going to be able to see your setup. They're going to be able to see what that light can do.
Yeah.
And now if you've got it set up, whether it's using sound mode or using some sort of sync mode or programming or anything like that, they're going to see what kind of effect that it has, whether that's a laser, spin and puke, as Rich likes to call them, or whether it's a good wash that's able to, some intelligent lighting that moves around a spot or something.
Right.
The effect of that is going to be felt and noticed more.
Yeah.
And for a longer period of time than just what the light's going to look like.
Yeah, I'd rather my setup look like a crab than.
Like a little
Johnny.
crab with like
Because
pincers.
John.
What do you think?
That's why.
What do I think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
start
they're
with you.
both wrong. Because if they were right, then why do so many DJs, their go-to light fixture is a pair of moving heads without a hazer? Because a pair of moving heads without a hazer does exactly zero effect. Not zero. Very minimal effect on a dance floor if you don't have a hazer. Yet, that is the go-to light fixture for a lot of the DJs that are in the know or that are, reputable DJs. And the reason why, because it makes their setup look cooler. Because if you see a DJ with two moving heads on a pair of totems, you're like, oh, that DJ is good. If you see, look, I think that likely the effect from a crappy gig bar that has 4 wash fixtures hanging from it, the effect on the dance floor is probably better than those 2 moving heads without a hazer. But every setup war we've done has proven that we think that the gig bar with the 4 wash lights on it sucks, and a DJ with 2 totems with moving heads on it is awesome. What say you, Richard?
Well, it's ironic because I agree with you. Meaning the setup of the light before the light emits on the dance floor at 9 o'clock is where you want to focus your energy. It's going to look better. But then I started relating that to our speakers when we just started talking about line array for speakers and how line arrays look better, but we have chosen not to do line arrays. We want it to sound better. So it's actually contrary to what we think for lights.
Okay.
The problem is, in my opinion, speakers on a stand still looks better than a crappy gig bar behind the DJ with all this bullshit above their head. Okay. Right? So
yes.
I am going to prep my setup to look hot, even if I'm going to sacrifice on the effects once the lights dim, just because there's so much bullshit with lighting. And, the speaker stands, I can live with that and make it sound good. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, we spent 5-6 years where our standard setup was a wash fixture that we put on the front of the table. Now, is that the optimal place to put a wash fixture? Because no, it's mostly hitting people in the belts. No, we were sacrificing the effect of the light for the look because we hated the look of taking one of those wash fixtures and putting them on a tripod and raising them with a DJ head, because our fear was that looks us look like a shit DJ. So, hey, we'll sacrifice the effect of the light because optimally having it raised on a tripod above the crowd would be the optimal place for the effect. But we gave that up because we're like, no one cares about that. We just don't look like dorks, like hanging this wash effect from a tripod. So I think that in most cases, we choose the look of the setup over putting the light in an optimal position, or that the fixture does what it's supposed to do.
Good.
Well, sorry, that was an accessory.
Interesting.
It's a lot of good different points of view.
Absolutely. I just find it funny. I'm not used to the producer talking so much.
Dang.
Hey.
Dang.
That's true. I'm gonna shut up. All right.
Dang.
All right. Is that enough questions? Is that enough beating up for one day?
Yeah.
Mickey and I should do this more.
That is our segment of BPM right there.
All right, that's it for us. Another episode of The Real DJ Show is in the books. We want you along every time, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We know you're DJs and have a lot to say, so jump in the comment section to join the debate. If you have content suggestions or you want your DJ company featured on The One Thing, email us at TheRealDJShow@rochesterdj.com. Lastly, if you're sick enough that you want to take the audio of this with you wherever you go, you can find the audio everywhere quality podcasts are found. All right, that's it for us. Show's over, bitches.